Hey, what is up, everyone? This is Ete, another episode of EcoLawn Science. This will be a quick one. So the big thing going around right now, it's June 9th, but it started about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So usually around late May, so third week of May-ish, to mid-June, so maybe 3-week period. In Utah here at least, every area is different. Colorado's a little bit of, probably more of a similar situation back east, different times of year. But here in Utah around this time, one of the questions that we get a lot, one thing that we see a lot is your lawn, your grass is going to seed. So what's happened is people will look outside and they'll look at their lawn that looked perfectly, green, healthy a week ago. And all of a sudden they see these little, what they think are plants or new weeds. And I get a lot of calls, hey, my lawn is full of weeds. And it may not be out through the whole lawn. It might just be portions of the lawn. That's why I think that's why people think it's a weed. It's not the entire lawn is seeding itself. But what you'll have here with the Kentucky Blue and some other types is they actually seed. Now, Bluegrass generally runs, it's rhizomatic, so it spreads out below the soil. But what can happen anyway, not always, so that's why sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't, is as the new rhizomes produce, they spread through the rhizomes, and those rhizomes will produce new plants near that original grass plant. And so then it kind of tries to take its energy and repair itself. It's kind of a natural healing. As part of that, it will slow down the rhizome production, and it will put some energy into flowering. And so that's what you're seeing your lawn is literally going to seed. Now, is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? Well, there's different research says different things. From my experience, it's neither bad nor good. It's just a thing. It looks kind of weird for about 3 weeks, but there's really no damage. I mean, one thing it shows that you have a pretty healthy lawn. It's thriving and it's wanting to use energy to flower. So it's alive. It's doing well. On the other side, it is pretty ugly and weird looking, and it's often mistaken for weeds. Now, one thing people might think is, oh, that's great. If it's seeding itself, those seeds will drop into the soil, germinate, and fill out. And although I have seen some research that says that, most of what I've seen and my understanding is that's not the case, because it would take, so if you look out now, you'll see the bluegrass and you'll see the white flowering the heads. You would have to let those go for months, or at least a long period of time, until they kind of went through their cycle, turned that golden color. Then they dropped into the soil. And at that point, they would be usable seeds to fill in more natural bluegrass. But the problem is you're not going to let it go for months because it's so awful looking to so many that you're going to constantly be cutting it. So that is my understanding of it. I have seen other research that says, if you mow it, you can mulch it up. There's a lot of almost like carbs. There's a lot of food source in that area, so it's good to go back into the soil. And I don't disagree with that. I just don't know exactly, is it going to help reseed the lawn or not, because I've seen so much of it. Over the years and thousands of lawns, I don't notice that where it seeds it's any fuller or thicker than other areas. One of the main reasons for that, for those seed heads not growing in your lawn and filling it out, is that the majority of the seed that we get, it's a hybrid. They're hybrid varieties, and that makes them sterile, and so they won't germinate or grow. And so maybe you will have a species that's not a hybrid, it's a more natural one, and maybe you'll get lucky, but for the most part they don't. So I generally tell people when they call upset, it's not a weed, it's your lawn seeding itself. It will, it's not in the whole lawn. It just shows you got a healthy lawn, it's flowering. If you have an issue, just mow it. Change your mowing schedule. There are no weed controls or anything that's going to stop that. You could use a non-selective, which would just kill off your lawn. So wish I had an answer that everybody loved. But that being said, I think it's really cool. It's cool to get out there and see your lawn. Remind you sometimes your lawn is alive. It's flowering. It's seeding. It's a really cool thing. So anyway, that's all I got for today. Have a good one.